Though it's been a tame fire season so far for San Diego County, firefighters are battling blazes around the state, from Northern California to the Santa Cruz Mountains to Los Padres National Forest near Santa Barbara. But firefighters have more reason than usual to be concerned this year. In addition to the ongoing drought and a tinder-dry landscape, state budget cuts have hit local fire agencies hard. What impact will less funding have on the ability of firefighters in this region to respond to wildfires? August Guillo, fire chief of the San Miguel Fire District, goes on the record about what lies ahead.
I think it's going to be devastating to large fire response capability statewide. There's going to be somewhere between 200 and 500 less local area fire resources, fire engines to respond when we need them in state mutual aid, not counting the impact to CAL FIRE. This could be catastrophic for our ability to fight the large campaign fires in the state of California, and specifically in Southern California, San Diego County, because we are an island. The fires start north of our county line, and we have to deal with the resources that we have here in this region to fight that and defend ourselves.
Okay, so you heard Augie Guillo. He's talking about it being catastrophic for the state and local firefighting agencies. Do you agree? Is he exaggerating?
No, I absolutely agree with him, Gloria. And I think we're only starting to feel the impact of all the state budget cuts and the lack of new tax revenues. And if we have a terrible fire season, I think it's going to be a shock to, and I certainly hope we don't. But if we do, it's going to be a shock to people in terms of what we're able to do and how quickly and effectively we're able to respond.
A shock to people. Obviously, you don't feel as though people really understand the severity of it. What do you think, Kent?
Oh, I don't think. Yeah, I think until we get into the first real big crisis, people aren't going to understand. Mm-hmm. People rarely pay attention until it's right on their nose. And unfortunately, this is likely to show up on their nose. It raises the interesting question of, as we make budget choices, what the state's role is. And it has always been traditionally defined as to protect and preserve. And yet, here is one of those kinds of places where you see a piece nipped out. Now, $27 million in the scheme of the state budget is pretty small. But nonetheless, that's fire trucks and that's water on a fire.
I want to address this whole issue of short memory. In 2003, we had massive wildfires. 2007, we had massive wildfires here. I mean, people lost their homes right here in the city of San Diego. How can we have such a short memory?
Well, it appears we do. I mean, one local fire district, the voters overwhelmingly rejected a plan to pay a parcel tax because that would have gone, for fire protection. So we do have a short memory. People somehow believe, oh, we'll make do. And I think this time around, unfortunately, we may not be able to.
Well, one local company which has a lot at stake in this issue is San Diego Gas and Electric. They've proposed to cut off electricity to the backcountry in order to avoid having their power lines spark fires during Santa Ana wind conditions. It was found that 3 large wildfires in 2007 were started by their power lines, but their proposal has sparked its own controversy. San Diego Board of Supervisors Chairwoman Diane Jacob, whose district includes much of the backcountry and who declined our request to be interviewed on this topic, is opposed to the plan. We asked San Miguel Fire Chief August Guillo what he thinks of the plan. Here's what he had to say.
So we conditionally support SDG&E's plan. It's not a perfect plan, but show us a better one. What we believe, and we gave these conditions to Commissioner Simon from the PUC, that we should take a look anytime this does happen, that they initiate the power cutoff plan. We should take a look at the local level as to how effective was it. Did it achieve the goals and objectives that it was meant to achieve? What were the impacts on those communities that were impacted by that power shutoff? What can we do to make it better? What can we do to improve the system? And then see if after this fire season that it really is a valid plan or not.
Well, your paper, Kent, covers the North County areas that are often hit hard by wildfires. What are you hearing from your readers about SDG&E's plan to cut off power to the backcountry?
I think there's a lot of opposition in North County to this plan. After all, it affects as many as 65,000 homes and businesses in rural areas. And what it means is that when there are red flag warnings and weather conditions are just right, that the SDG&E proactively turns the power off, which means that people who are in homes that need, say, they are on electric ventilator to breathe or have other emergency medical needs, are either going to be in a position where they've got to make arrangements to have SDG&E help move them, or otherwise somebody to take care of them, or they are stuck. Additionally, the local fire departments up there are pushing back, and water districts are pushing back, saying, wait a minute, we need the electricity to run our pumps to move water in through those hydrants.
How do you resolve those apparently conflicting interests? I mean, power lines that are a known fire hazard, but the need of people in the backcountry to feel safe. If power goes off, they feel less safe.
Well, first of all, this is a very difficult situation, and there is not a resolution I see in the short term that's going to make everyone happy. I think SDG&E has offered to provide generators to schools, to fire districts, to water districts in the backcountry so that they will be able to have power during an emergency. There will be a certain amount of time that people are given notice. I think if you live in one of these areas, you have to be prepared that this could happen and have a backup plan on hand, something that you can turn to if it happens.
You said earlier, Barbara, that voters rejected consolidating fire districts, but they barely rejected it. I mean, they rejected it. 64% said, yes, we want to consolidate fire districts, even if it's going to cost us $52 per parcel, and it takes a 2/3 vote, so it lost. I mean, how important is it for all those little fire districts out there in the backcountry to be unified into one unit that could more effectively fight fires?
I think it's crucial. And I think if there's another disaster, it will get approved. I think part of the issue is, the 2/3 requirement to get anything approved. And, that may change with, all the things that people are talking about in Sacramento with redos to how, our state budget is done.
So how short-sighted was it for the voters not to pass that parcel tax? And do you think that, they're saying something, or do you think we're really going to see consolidation?
I think there's a chance you'll see it over time because of where the political power is. But if you talk to local fire districts in backcountry areas, you'll find many of them say, look, we do a better job of taking care of our own area than any consolidated centralized system is. We know where our houses are, we know where our buildings are, and after all, that's our principal focus, is fighting those kind of fires, not fighting wildfires. That's CAL FIRE's business.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Kent Davey, Barbara Bree.